a second when it was trying to boot up and froze. There we go.
There we go. So, yeah.
What's the date today? It's February 24th. Is it?
23rd.
23rd. February 23rd, 2025. Shop Talk episode number 4. So something I've been thinking about that I kind of want to try to make stickers about, I think it'd be cool, is Writers Against Instagram clips. I think if people stop posting all their clips on Instagram, we could make more edits. And obviously edits are way cooler than Instagram clips.
Yeah.
So Writers Against Instagram clips would be a little bit of a propaganda to get people to make more edits. And obviously I'd still be posting stuff on Instagram, but it'd be like, I'm pedaling at a stair set and I start doing a tail whip down a stair set. And then instead of you actually watching me land it, it'd just be a middle finger and Writers Against Instagram clips. So you don't actually know if I landed the tail whip or not.
What do they call it?
And I obviously have a link to the edit.
Yeah.
They
call that, what do they call that? It's a adult movie terminology.
Adult movie terminology?
Yeah, where you're almost there, but you don't get it.
Yeah. You're edging.
Edging.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're getting edged.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I see that on Instagram already when people are trying to promote their edits, where it'll be 2 or 3 of the bigger clips from the edit, but it'll cut black right before they land it, and then you'll hear the audio of them landing it or something.
Yeah.
We need more of that to kick people off Instagram and watch YouTube edits because,
yeah,
I feel like there's more communication on a better level between people when they're talking about edits versus when they're talking about Instagram clips. There's not a lot of dialogue talking about Instagram clips amongst the homies. It's more digital. Maybe that doesn't make any sense, but I think edits are, in my opinion, more superior and better than Instagram clips. So
do you think putting all that time and energy into something and then giving it away for free on YouTube is any better?
It's just the way you watch the edit. Like, I think making edits, there's more artistry in making an edit than there is in making an Instagram clip. There's more that goes into it, and I think that tells you more about the person than just an Instagram clip does. And so maybe it's just me that I prefer watching edits over looking at Instagram clips. I feel almost guilty watching Instagram clips because it's mindless. Like, I'm not even paying attention. I'm just looking at my phone. I'm just scrolling.
Yeah.
And I see someone do something. I don't recognize what they did. And so then I'll be at the skate park and they'll be talking about it. I'm like, did I even see that?
No,
I liked it. Oh, I like that? Okay.
I do the same thing, yeah.
And it'll get to the point sometimes where I'll leave a comment. I don't even remember leaving the comment. And so I think, it's more intentional. When you go to watch an edit,
some social engineering involved.
Yeah, it's more intentional when you go to watch an edit. So you're able to remember more of it, understand more of it. You're paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's not like, when you're in a house hanging out with the homies, you're not going to put Instagram clips up on the television. If you want to be watching Instagram clips, you're all looking at your own phones and you're showing each other your phones, and it's just weird.
Yeah, you're sending it to them, yeah.
If you put on some edits on the TV, now you're actually like, as a
me and Levi
something.
sat here for like an hour yesterday watching stuff, and I'm finding obviously the more you watch on YouTube, the more the stuff that comes around. A lot of scene edits, which is really awesome. Like people from different scenes putting their edits on YouTube.
Yeah. What kind of scenes were you?
Something HSS or something like that.
HSS.
Yeah, it looked like they were German.
Yeah.
Italian or something. I've never seen them before.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of mid stuff, but it was a bunch of young writers coming out, and there was a few just shredders in there. Yeah.
There's some people that nobody knows about that are professional level writers. That they just don't have the social media following and the connections to do it full time. Yeah.
Well, doing it full time, I mean that involves going down to California.
Yeah, you got to move to where the action is. Yeah. It's a little different. That's you're leaving all your friends, you're leaving all your family to go try and do something great.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big commitment.
But in the pursuit of anything, that falls into that category. Like if you're going to pursue construction and be a carpenter,
Mm-hmm.
like you have to spend every day doing carpentry. You have to spend every time you have your normal job, you got to go spend 2, 3, 4 hours doing side jobs to become master at carpentry.
Yeah.
So you're leaving your friends, even if you live in the same county.
Because you're too busy because you're doing your own thing. Yeah.
So I mean, like you got to leave your friends to follow your passion.
Yeah. No, yeah. When you get that seriously committed to anything, you have to. It's not. You have to take. You have to go on your own path. You have to do your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
You almost have to isolate yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're fighting yourself when you're doing that.
But then those real friends will see you doing that and they'll support you, especially with social media nowadays. It's so easy to communicate with somebody going, hey, I see you. You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Keep it up. And then, that keeps you going.
Yeah.
And the people that don't hit you up, they're on their own path too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah. So, and then also the jam we're working on.
Yeah.
Probably make some jam posters.
420 jam.
419 jam.
419 jam.
Because
so apparently
420 lands on
419 Easter. Is bicycle day apparently, so celebrating LSD. And then obviously 420
LSD.
Is 420 LSD?
I thought. You mean like acid LSD?
Yeah, acid LSD.
Oh,
yeah, that's 419. I guess is bicycle day. And then I'm not. Shade was saying that. I'm not certain because I haven't looked it up myself, but I think 419 is bicycle day, and 420 is weed day, and Hitler's birthday, and Easter day.
Nice.
Yep. There's a lot going on that weekend. It's gonna be the stoners are gonna be stoned all weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, 419 jam. I'm working on making some posters. I'm thinking I want to have so it's obviously I'm going to try and design the layout of the poster or the flyer for the jam, but I want to have all the ramps in the background, and I want to have obviously someone doing a high air, but then I also want to have it blur into somebody doing like a nose manual on the ledge in the front, and then obviously all the details of the jam. Yeah. I know you said something earlier about maybe a cash prize for the jam. Is that something you're interested in?
Yeah, that is.
That's something you're going to figure out.
That's something I'm trying to figure out and work on. So,
yeah.
And then, once we get a flyer made up, then I can shop it around to the reps, and then give the support from the distros and brands and stuff.
And if we can make this a big thing, that'd be what's up.
Yeah.
We get some people out here. We start throwing some money. Let people know Boise's where it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, spring, summertime, Boise, even coming into fall, like there's an untapped scene out here that needs to be shown and put out.
Yeah. No, and we have so much good riding around here. It's paradise on two wheels down in Boise. You got Fort Boise, you got roads, you got the Boise Bike Park, and then 30-minute drive, you have 15 other skate parks. Maybe not 50, 10 other skate parks.
Yeah. And there's crazy street spots all up and down 84.
Yeah. No, unseen street spots. If you just go ride around for a few hours, you will find a number of street spots.
Well, the College of Nazarene, that has some great spots. You got some ledges. You got that big old rail. Like it depends on how big you want to go. Like you got that huge freaking rail over at the Walmart out here.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who's ever going to hit that, but
someone will eventually. Yeah. It's going to happen. No one's hit it yet. Not skateboard, not scooter.
Well, I'm sure they have, but nobody that I know. Being
I haven't seen anybody hit it. Maybe Austin Coates hit it. Maybe. I feel like I've seen him hit it in one of his older edits. But it's an early rail. It's a down kink down, right?
No, it's a straight.
It's a straight down.
There's a little kink at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
But like other than that, it's just
a regular down rail.
20, 24.
I'm thinking of a different stair. The one I was thinking of, it's like a down 6 or 7, flat, down 6 or 7.
No, this is like a 24, 26 stair.
Oh, okay.
Right where...
How tall, how much vertical do you think there is from the top step to the bottom step?
Like getting on it.
Yeah, like
so when you're at the top, it's about stem height. So as you come out, like you go out 2 or 3 steps, you're just going to be on it.
Like, no, I'm talking like the top step versus the bottom step. How much? Like if I were just to jump from the top down and not hit the rail, how far of a drop is it?
You're going to roll a firecracker down. Like it is.
It's too big just to jump down.
In my opinion, I mean, it's gnarly shit. Like,
is it?
Yeah.
All right.
Like if you could do that, like I'll take you there. I'll show it to you.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it. So
just let me know when you're gonna hit it so we can get it on camera.
That's the kind of thing I'd want to work my way up to. I'd hit some other down rails. I go up to Caldwell. Caldwell Skate Park has a ton of really good down rails. Mm-hmm. For some reason, they got like there's a 10-stair down rail, and there's like a 3-block down rail, and there's like a 5-stair down rail, and they're all proper height handrails.
Yeah. There's a school out there that we took JP out to that has rails all over the place.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's the kind of thing that if you want to do that, you have to warm up, spend a week just hitting other down rails so that you're prepared for that.
Yeah, and
you don't want to fuck up.
And and it's like a Sunday morning rail. Yeah. Because it lands right in the parking lot.
Oh.
So you want to go Sunday morning when there's absolutely no cars there, so you have a good landing. Otherwise, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and it's like there's not really too much practice that you can do, so you're just gonna have to like go hit it cold basically on a Sunday morning.
How's the run up?
You got all day.
All day, perfect, just flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if I'm the guy for that, but someone will hit it eventually.
There's not too many people I know that are really down like that. Draven Wheelhand would probably hit it.
Yeah,
I took him to show it, and it definitely made his eyes big.
Yeah, like I mean, I think really, I just sort of lean to the side, or if I have full confidence that I'd make it with both pegs. I'd get both pegs on the rail. Making it all the way down, I feel like you'd probably have to hold on for quite a while. So I'd probably just end up firecrackering it a couple times until I actually held on all the way through. Mm-hmm.
I dude Ian probably could hit it too.
Yeah,
I've seen him do some good rail stuff. Nothing that steep, but definitely.
Yeah.
But there's not too many people I know directly that hit rails like that.
No, gnarly rails are gnarly for a reason. Big streets. Yeah.
So what else has been going on?
Well, what else has been going on? Not much really.
How's work?
I worked for you Tuesday, Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Did the floor in that house, and then
floors look amazing.
They're great. I
can't wait to finish them off.
Yeah, once they're stained, that's gonna look great. Mm-hmm. I worked Thursday, Friday. Prepped the house in north end, the north end of Boise. There's a lot of people really like these houses in the north end, but these houses were built in the 50s and 60s, mm-hmm. and every time I do a job working on these houses in the north end, the floors there it's just fuckery. There's been so many repairs, so many remodels that unless you reframe the whole subfloor, you're going to be putting a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah.
And so this one, we pulled all the wood out. There's a couple places where it's like, okay, this used to be the front door, but now they just extended the house. They framed the house bigger that direction to make the house bigger. Mm-hmm. And so there's like the previous flooring, it went from the subfloor to just laying directly on concrete. And so that provides so much complication to installing a floor. Now there's a height difference between the subfloor and the concrete. And then not to mention how squeaky the subfloor is. We went around and we screwed down a lot of the subfloor where it was squeaking to try and prevent squeaks. But north end houses they're all custom houses too. There's no, I think that they maybe just did it that way in the 50s, but every house was its own design.
Out here, I see that a lot of those houses. A lot of modernism.
Mm-hmm.
There's quite a few Art Deco houses that were coming out of the 50s around here. Like a lot more than I see when I was in Portland. Like there was like developments made in Portland that like my old neighborhood is basically all the same.
Yeah.
No, it's in 50s. Not in today's standards where like everything is really the same, but like
I also think these older houses, because they've been remodeled 10 times, that every remodel makes it more different than the next one, especially if they're, like I said, moving.
Yeah, because they're not trying to
reinvent
the wheel; they're just trying to freaking.
Yeah, this house had an add-on, and then where it's like they changed where the staircase was. It had a basement, and they moved the staircase from one part of the house to a different part of the house, and so the staircase is completely not original. But where the staircase was, or it wasn't even part of the house originally. It was, it just extended the backyard, and then in the room where the staircase is, it has the original siding of the house still in that room, on the inside of the house. So it's
so they added a room onto the outside of the house, and they just didn't remove the siding. They said
instead of like removing the siding and doing drywall or something, they just left the siding in. That's just what the wall is.
I always find that fascinating when you
on that part of the house
on Instagram or TikTok. And you see these house remodels where they find like a hidden door or something, and they bust it in, and then it's a whole nother apartment. You ever seen those? There's like a staircase to upstairs.
Yeah,
and there's like a whole apartment upstairs, and they never knew it.
Really?
Yeah. Never seen those ones?
No, I've never seen anything like that.
I don't know if they're real or not because you can't trust anything on the internet.
I could definitely see like you not realizing that you had a basement that is like livable with plenty of headspace. Like your basement, it's maybe 7 foot tall ceilings, and it's just a gigantic crawl space, really. But
it's not.
You could go build Legos down there.
Yeah. If I were to build it out, walled off, the ceiling height would drop down to 5'4".
Yeah,
like it would be nothing.
Well, that's also 800 square feet. It's not 800, like a few hundred square feet of livable.
I don't know. It's probably about 800,000 square feet.
Yeah. It's half of beneath your house.
Yeah. But still, like you start insulating and walling off and putting a ceiling up, like because they have all the ductworks there. Like the house was built in 1918, and it has seen its fair share of remodels. So it's the same problem. Like when I came in, like they were so much messed up. Like just to get cable TV and internet in here, they just said, "Fuck it, we're running a new line." So they just ran a new line.
Yeah, and they just left the old line.
Well, I pulled it all out because I was like, "Oh, I'll just get rid of all this shit." There.
Yeah. Did you have? Were there furnaces in the house that were not working?
No, all that has been removed.
All that has been removed. Yeah, I was working on this commercial building, and the lady that bought the place, she pulled out four or five furnaces from beneath. It was a commercial building, so each unit in this commercial building, it was 5 units, had its own furnace. But the people that came in and put a new HVAC system, they didn't remove so there were 5 furnaces in the crawl space of this commercial building.
Just sitting there,
releasing whatever horrible chemicals old furnaces would release.
Nice.
And so she pulled out 5 furnaces from beneath this building.
Well, I mean, like while you're doing that and remodeling, it's not like you want to like I said, reinvent the wheel and go, I'm going to pull this out. Like, well, we can just cut this off, cap it, and then we'll just leave it here.
Yeah, no, it's not worth the effort to remove it. Same thing in that place. We did the floors in it. Instead of removing all the asbestos tile and stuff that maybe we probably should have, we just put a new floor directly on top of it.
But that's a whole ordeal by itself.
Yeah.
Especially like in Portland, like that stuff is gnarly.
No, because I don't want to breathe in asbestos while I'm trying to remove all this stuff. And so you just go over it. And
the house in Portland, we put floors in there. There was some asbestos tiles. I forget exactly where it was, but I just removed it.
Yeah.
I didn't tell nobody. It's like there was no inspector coming in.
I think if an inspector came in, maybe we should have removed the asbestos tile. But if we were to remove this tile, we probably would have damaged the subfloor in the process of removing it, and we would have had to repair the subfloor, and we didn't want to do that. So we just sort of,
Yeah, sometimes it's just better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yeah. No, that's the difference between a $10,000 job and a $40,000 job.
Yeah.
Redoing an entire subfloor system is not easy and cheap. And when you're on a budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I understand the budget.
Yeah. This lady, if she breaks out even on this job, she'll be making a lot of money because it's, like I said, 5 commercial units in Overland and Orchard and Boise. And
I still don't know roads and exactly where all that stuff is.
It's in Boise somewhere.
Gotcha.
But yeah, five commercial units. She bought it for like $450,000, put maybe $75,000 worth of renovations into it.
Damn.
Now she's got 5 commercial buildings for $500,000. She's probably pulling in $1,000 a unit, $5,000 a month. I don't know how much overhead that'd be.
How close is it to roads?
Not close.
Oh, okay.
Like 4 miles. 5
okay.
miles. It's Overland and Orchard.
There's a spot I'm looking at that's like 1,200 square foot. They want $1,600 a month.
Yeah.
I don't like that price.
Yeah. No, it's you want something close to roads.
Yeah.
This
spot I'm looking at that's 1,200 square foot is like 3 blocks away.
Yeah. No, yeah. If it's anywhere in between roads and Fort Boise, in that whole, like if it's on the path from roads to Fort Boise, people are going to stop by.
It is not. It's a little bit off that path.
Yeah.
But it's not so far off where I don't think people wouldn't stop by.
Yeah. Because just somebody breaks a truck on a skateboard, they come buy new trucks.
Yeah.
Or get a flat tire on BMX. Obviously, are you trying to do skateboard, scooter, and BMX?
No, not necessarily. I don't feel comfortable. The only reason why I had the skate stuff I do have was because my Etnies rep also repped for a skate distro, and had a few kids come in a couple times looking for some skate stuff. So I just was like, more like, oh, here's some stuff if you need some stuff real quick. Not that I'm trying to get something out of it.
Yeah.
I know scooters a whole lot more than I know skate. So I'd probably stick with some scooters.
No, scooter scene's strong around here.
Yeah.
There's a couple skate shops around here.
Yeah.
I think there's the Boardroom, and then there's one other skate shop in Boise somewhere. And so there's already that already checked off the list of stuff that's around here.
Yeah.
But obviously scooter shop, BMX shop. That's no.
Well, what about that kid and his mom? Weren't they trying to?
Yeah, Race. I don't remember his parents' names, but Race and his. Yeah, they're still doing that. I think Race has a little scooter boutique for scooters in the back of the shop, but they do mostly e-bikes. I know I've bought grips off of them. I think I bought maybe some tires off of them, because obviously they've gone through so they can get BMX stuff, but their main income is from e-bikes.
Yeah.
Renting out e-bikes, people buying e-bikes.
Okay.
They're fairly close to the green belt, so people come there, rent an e-bike for the day, whip it around the green belt, and then drop it off at the end of the day, and pretty ludicrous. Make a lot of money doing that.
Oh yeah, I can see that, especially on the green belt.
Yep. Now, a lot of people, that's a big attraction in Boise, is just the green belt.
Yeah.
So people that travel to see family, need to fill something to do that day, go ride your bike down the green belt. It's yeah. I think there's even a spot on the green belt somewhere where they do water surfing. There's like I don't know if it's man-made or if it's natural, but I think it's pretty close to Willow Lane, those ancient dirt jumps that aren't maintained at all. But there's a waterboarding, water skiing, little man-made wave that you can tread.
Yeah, I mean,
that attracts a decent amount of people too.
Really, the only part of the green belt that I go down is when I'm filming everyone and we go to the college.
Yeah,
and those few other spots, the wall rides and whatnot on the green belt. And then going down the Boise River.
Yeah,
because it follows the green belt at a point.
Yeah, getting from roads, and there's a lot of good street spots around BSU. You're always getting on the green belt. Yeah. There's just the street spots you see from roads to BSU. There's a bunch of banks. There's a bunch of rails, down ledges. flyouts. Oh, there's so much good stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of BSU, one last time as we went out, but was that cop? Was that security guard being cool? Like, and then like also the level of security guards at BSU, are they on the same level as police, or are they just BSU security guards?
They're BSU security guards. Their number one job was giving out parking tickets.
Oh,
yeah.
Security guard can hand out a parking ticket?
BSU has its own parking ticket system. You park on BSU, you're not getting a parking ticket from a police officer. You're getting a parking ticket from BSU.
So what happens if you don't pay?
I don't know. I never got one. Actually, I think I did get one. I just went to the office and paid it. It was like $15.
That's like a clown coming into your door and saying, "Hey, we're the clown authority. You need to pay us money." Like,
no,
fuck off, clown.
Yeah, no. And so what the deal is? When I first started going to BSU, my first immediately, or not immediately, like halfway through the year, they cut off where there's no free parking on the campus anymore, because there used to be a couple of strips where there's free parking, and they said no more free parking. So I parked in the section where I guess it's not free parking anymore, and so I got a $15 ticket in my windshield, and I had to go to whatever parking office to pay a $15 ticket.
But you weren't enrolled in BSU.
No, I was enrolled at BSU, and I even paid for a parking pass, which allows me to park next to my dorms and in this one parking garage on the top floor.
So if any civilian, i.e. someone like me who just rolled up and got this parking ticket, you just crumple up and go in the trash and drive away?
Probably. I don't know how they'd track you. Yeah. Unless maybe BSU is tied with the Boise Police Department and there is actually something. I don't know.
And then, they could probably take notes, and then if you keep a repeat offender, probably tow your vehicle away.
Yeah, probably. They probably know it.
But as enforcement of trying to make me pay, it's not like they could turn into the DMV and go, "Oh, hey, put a point on this guy's license."
Yeah. I don't think that. I don't know. They might not have any authority. It might just be just crumble up the ticket. And
well, I'm just thinking of that time we were out there. Well, the last time we were out there, and that security guard rolled up. He was acting all tough for a minute, trying to be all.
Yeah, letting us know we had to get out of there.
Yeah. I'm just thinking to myself, how tied in is he? Is he just an asshole in the car, or is he got some real authority where police would show up and we'd really have to deal with some bullshit?
Well, we could probably call the police and get the actual police to show up, but obviously if we keep riding, he probably would.
Yeah,
that's his job.
And then he calls the police, and then we get out of there.
Yeah, and we leave.
Yeah,
but
not that I was going to push issues. It was
no. It's if you just want us to leave, let's just leave. It's not worth creating conflict. Yeah. But I have done it where I'll be riding one street spot at BSU. I get told to leave. I don't leave the campus, obviously. I just go to a different street spot on campus.
Yeah.
10 minutes later, same dude pulls up dude, get off campus.
Because there's some nice rails. There's some nice rails. Those little stairs that are over there, over by the Coliseum.
Yeah, there's there's a really good 3-flat-3, and then there's a 3-flat. There's it's a 3-flat-3, but it's a gap to a down rail.
Yeah.
I think Shane did that. Was he wanting to ice it, or is he just double peg it?
He was just trying to double peg
it. Yeah. I think we were talking about icing it, but that's gnarly. That's sketchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the is Idaho College? Is that the one that's in Caldwell? Which one is in Caldwell?
I think CWI, College of Western Idaho, is pretty close to us.
Yeah. That was a good spot too. There's some decent rails and
is there
little spots
college
out there.
Campuses just the way they build them is just good.
Yeah,
handrails and stuff.
Well, and the big thing is they haven't capped them.
Yeah,
a lot of high schools and stuff like that in Portland. It's they design it and then they add caps to their design because the skater scene and the BMX scene and the scooter scene in Portland is so much bigger. It's we just got to do this.
Yeah. A part of me wants to become a city architect just so that when I'm designing a big building in Boise, I can make it skate friendly. Yeah, I could make obviously there's no skate allowed, but I'm gonna make a perfect bank and I'm gonna put a handrail right next to it, then a wall ride, and I'm just gonna look the other way and be like, oh, I didn't know.
They capped that Whole Foods apartment one.
Yeah, did they?
Yeah.
Well, I know there's
which really sucks. So that was a pretty good.
What's the big bank building in Boise? There's an American bank or whatever. There is some actual really good banks to the edge of the building, and there's one spot where it was a hip basically. It was a bank hip, and there's a thing to a rail, and they just put wires and bushes in front of it.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, really, you can't really ride that anymore.
I mean, you can if you just cut the wire.
You can bunny hop up it and then bunny hop back over it, but it's not as good as it used to be.
I think Shane either I don't remember if he barred it or 3'd it over the sign or the outledge. You know, it has the stairs and it has an outledge in the middle. He went over it one night. I got a clip of it.
Did he?
Yeah.
No, I'll have to. Once that comes out, I'll see it. Yeah. But Riders Against Instagram clips. We need more edits.
Yeah. This summer, this last summer, and this winter was freaking. It's been rough. I'm at the tail end of all my life shit, so I can get back out there and do some cool shit.
Yeah, once the construction is done on that building, and then you can actually focus on, BMX a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a good summer.
I think so.
See what happens. Hopefully a lot.
And then we'll see when my wife gets back. We're going to sit down and have a real serious conversation about looking into a new location. Because I don't think I could really survive out here. At least make a living. I think I could make the shop survive, but I don't think I can make a living like I was in Portland out here.
Yeah, you'd need a shop in Boise.
Yeah.
No, I fully get that.
I really thought I could. I really thought that mindset of being out here where people from Boise just don't come out this way. That's so foreign to me because
it's a 30-minute drive from Boise. It's not that bad.
That's 30 minutes on a bad day. I've made
it could be an hour on a bad day that multi-car pileup's extreme, but it took me like an hour to get from Meridian to here, and it's normally a 15-minute drive.
Yeah.
I
mean, I made it 2 roads from here in 17 minutes.
Yeah. No, yeah, you get on the freeway, you're going 80 all the way down. Even if you're not going 80, it's not going to take you 20 minutes.
No.
Yeah. But 15 miles, that's not that far.
It's not.
But
like a lot of people I've heard, especially the old timers, like Levi's old timers, they're just like completely against it.
Yeah. And I mean, I do get it. I think a lot of people really like being able to walk and ride bikes to what's around them, and they only really drive their cars to work or if they're going shopping or something. And I get that. It's nice being able to ride to the skate park and then ride home.
Yeah,
that's awesome. But you can also just get in your car and go across town, and now you're.
Funny you go to a bike shop, and I think I've done a pretty good job creating a pretty decent bike shop.
Yeah,
I'd like to think so.
I mean, it's ripe and pretty in here. It's a candy shop for bikes.
Yeah.
If you're a kid and you've never really been in a BMX shop and you're into BMX, you come in this place and it's paradise. There's $20,000 worth of BMX shit.
Probably more than
that. It's a low ball. I was just random guess. Yeah. Not to mention you got ramps out front, airbag, and if you're into it, this place is what's up.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if I want to make a living, I need to go out.
Yeah.
Out to Boise. I need to be as close to roads as humanly possible.
Yeah. Now, hopefully you can find a good shop. Hopefully you can find something that you might be able to put a little half pipe in or something. That'd be sick.
Oh, I probably won't.
No, it'd just be a storefront.
Yeah. It would just be a storefront. Yeah. I'll leave the ramps out here, and just make it a point to get people to come out here to ride the ramps for a day. A good solid day trip, barbecue, do it up.
Yeah. Airbag sessions. It's cool out here. We don't have a singular box jump in all of Idaho. I don't know why that we have so many skate parks, yet there's not a straight box jump at any of these skate parks. It's kind of weird. But we got the box right there.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I always wanted to build a deck you could put in between the takeoff and the landing so that it is actually a box jump.
Like how wide are you thinking?
3 or 4 feet. Not super wide. You might be able to 180 half cab in. It'd be kind of tight.
Okay.
Because it is big. If that was a full-size box jump.
That's like 6-8 feet if you're looking at like a full-size box.
Yeah, like it's 6 or 8 foot deck.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd be going to the moon if you want to get over it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, not to mention, you'd have to pedal at it. And then now you have Mach Jesus speed and you're going at a 6 foot quarter pipe. You need an 8 foot quarter pipe if you have a box jump that big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or a big vert wall or something. But no.
So they definitely need to have a high air contest at the jam.
Just on the 6 foot quarter pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we got. I'm not gonna.
We could do it on that, or we could do it on this box, or both.
What do you think? I mean,
I think we might be able to do both, and then add up the two numbers, the highest. Like I jumped 8 feet on the quarter pipe and 10 feet on this box. 18 points is my total for the thing.
Okay.
And then everyone's points adds up like that, and whoever has the highest.
So what do you think? Like a jam contest kind of situation?
Jam contest.
Okay.
I do kind of like the best trick might be better because then everyone can just be lollygagging around, and then it's like, okay, I feel like doing a 540 over the spine. And it's not like you don't have pressure to do it right here, right now, whereas a high air competition is like, and now you got to get everybody organized and to over there to focus on the high air.
Well, the thing I've learned about running jams like that, once you get it started, it just kind of runs itself.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, so you can high air, and you just basically like, oh shit, like.
Yeah, people start sending it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I've never really. I've been to a couple jams, but honestly, not that many. But people are interested in actually following what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then maybe we could do a high air. Or you want to do a best trick too?
Yeah, probably. I mean, we could get, like I said before, we can go and get some metal. I wouldn't mind making a 12 foot rail.
Yeah.
Just welding something up. And then we can design it so it could be just flat, or we can design it at like an up rail angle or something.
Yeah, so one end's like 12 inches off the ground, the other end's 3 feet off the ground or something, or maybe not that extreme.
Yeah, no, probably not even that extreme, just because you want to have a good time with it too. Like, yeah.
I feel like that'd be fun because you can bunny up, double peg something 3 feet tall, and you got a down rail, but it's just on the flat ground, or you could jump off of something onto it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got those kickers and other things as well.
Yeah, you got a bunch of weird kickers back there.
Yeah.
You do a long jump too, maybe. No, those are sketchy for that. You start pedaling out, they move when you hit them.
If we were going to do a long jump, I would probably take it out to the track, and so you could land in grass.
Oh yeah. That way, when someone shit, they slide on grass.
Oh yeah, because people are going to friggin' haul nuts at it.
Yeah,
and
this asphalt is not forgiving.
No.
Yeah.
If you go on YouTube, I know there's some videos of my first jam, my first high rail 3 BMX jam, and we had a long jump competition. Yeah, dudes were sending it.
Mm-hmm. No, actually pedaling as fast as they possibly can.
Absolutely, and just freaking launching themselves.
Yeah, once you get the hype, people just throw down. They have no fear.
Yeah.
The hype's a beautiful thing.
No, I think this is going to be a great jam.
Yeah, I think so. Curious how many people will be getting out here.
Well, first thing is getting the flyer put together.
Yeah, getting the flyer.
We got a date. And then in between that, get shit built. Like, it's going to happen before you know it.
Yeah.
Like it is.
Yeah. That's 2 months out. Yeah, it's like exactly 2 months out.
Yeah, it's really tight.
Yeah. So we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. What else is going on? What else you want to talk about? Anything that's in that brain of yours?
What about you? Anything in your brain?
I mean, a lot. Like, how to bring a subject up? Like how do we bring a subject up outside of this? I mean, because there's a lot of stuff, worldly stuff that I love talking about. I love talking about the business side of everything on this. So I don't know. It seems almost difficult to just randomly switch something up, right? A conversation, even though there's subjects on my brain that I want to talk about, right?
But yeah, the conversation doesn't naturally flow.
Yeah,
like we're focused on BMX stuff right now.
Yeah, so brain is focusing on BMX stuff.
I mean, what do you think about colleges in this country? Think colleges are indoctrinating people?
Yeah, they've been indoctrinating people for 30, 40 years.
They teach people how to think. That's kind of the point.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people that go to college to teach, they don't have real world experience. They have just the thought of worldly experiences. And I'm not saying every single one. I'm not saying I'm saying that as really a blanket comment of a generalization.
There's more
generalization of something a little bit more complex.
Yeah.
Taking from my own personal experience, I didn't go to school. I had no desire to go to school. I wanted to work with my hands. I wanted to create something artistically and passionately ever since I was a kid. And I didn't think I needed to go to fucking school to be passionate about something.
No.
And so, and I know I wanted to work for myself.
I mean, that's a big difference. If you're planning on starting your own company and doing your own thing, having a diploma is completely useless. You know, having the knowledge, obviously that's, business knowledge that might have a certain amount of merit. Obviously, even that, there's book smarts and there's street smarts. To run a business, you need both. But college only offers you book smarts. And then I got off topic about it. I had an idea and I forgot about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, so a level of street smarts that I had, but the problem was for many years, I was drinking and using a lot of drugs until, around 2010, 2009, I actually got sober. So then a couple of years of working on myself, directly working on myself. So around 2010, I started a secondhand business. I was buying storage units and digging through other people's stuff. That's an experience. If you ever get the opportunity to go to a storage auction, do it and buy something. Buy somebody else's trash.
Really?
It's fun. At least once.
Is it worth it? Have you made?
Sometimes.
I've watched Auction Wars.
Sometimes. Yeah. I pulled out motorcycles. I pulled out firearms. I pulled out collectible coins. I pulled out straight cash. Nothing that got me to retire or anything, but it was like, shit, here's $500 and somebody just left it here.
Yeah. No, I mean, that'd be fun.
But then there's also the disgusting shit that happens. People packing food away. Like open boxes of cereal and rats getting there. Like just throw the fucking thing away before you pack it up. Like you're not coming in here to have a bowl of cereal for a month.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? Like, why? That's pointless. And something I learned, as you're going through stuff, don't stick your hand into boxes.
You're going to cut yourself.
Don't stick your hand into bags. No, I have never cut myself. But the things I put my hands on, I wish I didn't put my hands on.
Yeah. No, you got to.
You put your hands into something slimy? I don't know what the fuck it is. I swear to God, I reached into this bag in this box and I pulled out some dude's penis pump.
Oh, geez, that's nasty.
And it was still like lubricated.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck did I just do to myself?
No, yeah, I've been there. I remember it was just a porta potty outside of wherever I was working like 2 years ago. But, I took a shit, turned around, or I had to. What was I doing? Oh, I had to take a piss. And I walked in there, grabbed the toilet seat to pick it up. And, of course, on the bottom of the toilet seat, there's a piece of shit. And so I grab a piece of shit when I go to pick up the porta potty.
I use my foot to pick up.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, and when I put it down, I kick it down. Like, I don't do that.
That is not. I don't know how a piece of shit got on the bottom of the whatever.
Dude, people are sick.
What people do in these porta potties is just wild and beyond.
People are sick. Like, Like I've gone into bathroom stalls where people wipe shit on the walls. Like why? Like why was that okay?
Yeah.
No. Like I've never once thought about shoving a couple fingers up my own ass after I take a shit and wipe it on the walls. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, yeah. Well, to a certain extent, I do think that we are monkeys, and I see it in little kids. And I remember being in elementary school. It happened in my little kid life of being in school 2 or 3 times where someone was throwing shit on the walls in the bathroom. I think it's just instinctual for us to throw shit. And so you got to beat that out of these kids when they're young so that when they become adults, they're not still smearing shit on the walls.
I've never had to fight that urge.
No, I didn't. I've never had that either. But monkeys throw their shit. It's
yeah. Okay. Monkeys. Well, so I had my shop. I want to say 2 years. 2 years I was doing that. So ended up being about 2012. I closed the doors on that. It was exhausting. Mm-hmm. I learned a tremendous amount of business and running a business and what it takes, what people are looking for. And at that same time, I was getting back into BMX, and that was my passion. And so I started powder coating out of my home and started working at bike shops. Mm-hmm. And then I took over the lumberyard retail area, and learned even more. That was like my finite education right there, where I really learned about managing money, managing product, managing all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then that was, the ceiling was really low there, and the only option was me to open my own shop.
Yeah. Did you ever work for somebody else powder coating, or is it always just sort of?
Oh, I taught myself. I never worked for. Actually, I got a job here for a guy working at a powder coating place here because I was when I first landed here, I was bored, and I needed something to do, and it was a few extra dollars. But the very first paycheck, this guy, and I'm assuming he did it to everyone, shorted. So we worked 10-hour days, but he only paid you for 8.
Really?
Yeah. And so I sent him emails like, "Hey, I'm not working for you anymore, dude. Like this is." Yeah. He's like, and then he goes, "Well, why is that?" I was like, "Because you're a liar and a thief." And then he turns around and tells me, "Well, I heard that that you don't work. Like it takes the guys forever to get you on task." I'm like, "Well, that's bullshit." But whatever.
You're still there for 8 hours. If you're paid hourly,
Well, I should have been getting paid for 10.
Yeah, if you're there 10 hours, you're getting paid for 10. Even when I'm at work.
And sure, like you could say 30-minute lunch, 15-minute breaks, not get paid for that, but like you're still shorting me at the end of the day an hour a day.
Yeah. No, that's not acceptable. There's a certain amount of
that's 5 hours a week,
downtime that
20 hours of pay period, 40 hours of freaking month.
Yeah.
No. 5 hours a week, 10 hours of pay period, 20 hours a month. So that's like half a week that I'm not getting paid.
Yeah.
When I'm there.
No, that's not acceptable. I'm fortunate enough that I've never been shorted on my pay.
Check your freaking pay stubs. That's what I say.
Yeah. No, I keep track of my own hours. I text my boss my own hours, and if my hours don't line up with his hours, then, well, that's not right. Yeah. It did happen once when I was working for the union that they, the union, the way they do overtime at the union is so weird. It's instead of it being a 40-hour work week where if you work 41 hours, you get 1 hour of overtime. If I work more than 8 hours in one day, so if I work 9 hours, I get 8 hours regular time, 1 hour of overtime because I work more than 8 hours. So every day is like that. And then another thing is if I'm working past 8 p.m. or whatever, any time past 8 p.m. is overtime. And then what is it? If I work more than 12 hours, obviously it's time and a half overtime for the hours, but 12 hours and plus, it's double time. And so if I worked a 13-hour day, I got 2 hours of double time pay. And the bookkeepers at the company I worked for didn't know all these union rules. And I don't even know all the rules. There's like 50 rules on what counts as overtime. And so they kept messing up or overtime. I wouldn't even know. I've been working with a dude that's obviously been in the union a lot longer than me. He knew when he got shorted on overtime, and every time he got shorted on overtime, I did too. So
how was that? How was working for a union? Because there's a lot of
this is a non-union state.
Because there's a lot of back and forth with unions being good or unions being bad. I was actually younger and part of a job that was always union busting because people were always trying to bring a union in. So I'm curious.
Yeah, well, there's the way a union works in getting stuff done versus the way contractors and subcontractors work in getting stuff done. I feel like I'm pretty sure it's so Brighton Homes wants to build 10 houses. They will now hire a framing contractor and a concrete contractor with a union, instead of Brighton going to these contractors that that specialize in framing and specialize in concrete. They'd go to the carpenters union and be like, hey, I need 20 framers and I need 20 concrete form makers to make the concrete forms and frame these houses. And so it's like you're cutting out a middleman. You're cutting out the boss that manages the 10 people. The union manages the people. And so it's just organized a little bit differently. It definitely gets wages are better with unions. But then there's also, like, I want to own my own shit. I want to own my own company. I want to own all my own tools. When you're working for the union, there's none of that. I guess you can own your own tools, but you don't own the company that's doing the work. And so there's a certain level of, you don't have to think about any of that, but there's also a certain amount of, okay, there's no entrepreneurship in working for the union. And then, a big reason I don't like working with the union because if somebody doesn't like you at a regular job, they'll just fire you, tell you to go get a different job. When you're working for the union, they can't just fire you, tell you to go get a different job. They'll have to find a reason to lay you off. And then now you're waiting to come back to work because you just got laid off. There's too many guys working out here. So now you're waiting to come back to work, but they can't fire you.
Because they just push you off into limbo.
And they just push you off into limbo. And so now you're collecting unemployment. So when I was they had 2 mass layoffs in the time that I was working at McIlvain. The first mass layoff, they laid off 30 guys. They told all of us it's just going to be a week or 2. We're waiting for some material to get in. We don't have enough work to keep 60 guys employed for the next 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. Like 2 days passed. They called me back for whatever reason they had out there. They needed to have 50-50 union and non-union workers, and their ratios were off. So they hired me back because I was a union worker to get the union ratios correct. They never hired any of those 30 people back. Those people might still be collecting unemployment from that layoff. Like that was probably 6 or 7 months ago.
Yeah.
You get laid off. You're told you're going to come back in 2 or 3 weeks. They never hire you back. So there's a certain amount of, is it diplomacy where it's like lag, and the higher ups, there's a lack of communication between the higher ups and the laborers, where you just get laid off. And I remember the first time I got laid off, I asked the dude, like, hey, is this actually something that's going to be 2 or 3 weeks? Or is this something that I need to find a different job? He told me, oh, it's just going to be 2 or 3 weeks. You don't need to find a different job. And of course they didn't hire back 90% of the people. They hired me back because I was lucky enough to get hired back, I guess. But that's another thing. If you're lazy at the union, you'll get, you just get laid off. You don't get hired back.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough that they liked me. I worked hard. And so when they had to hire somebody back, they hired me back. And there's a big game of making friends. If you're not making friends with people, it's the same bullshit you have to deal with when you're running your own company, but you don't own any of it.
Yeah.
I got to make friends because if I'm not friends with this guy and that guy, I'm going to get laid off.
Yeah.
And so you got to make friends with this guy and that guy. And so you're networking to make friends with people so that, you're not on their shit list. And then, there's another, maybe this is more of a big job thing, but there's a disconnect between the safety officers and the people that actually have to get stuff done. Because obviously there's deadlines, it's like, oh, we have to build this by next Friday. But then there's the safety guys that are like, okay, you have to follow this safety protocol, that safety protocol, and this safety protocol. Well, if you follow all these safety protocols, we're not getting this done next Friday.
Yeah.
And then that's going to be a big old fine for our company. So is it worth getting fined from OSHA, or is it worth getting fined from Micron for us not finishing this portion of the project in time?
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're not double checking that our harnesses are on us properly before we climb stuff. We're not double checking that these walls are actually secured to the ground. I remember, I double checked my harness and everything. I climbed to the top of the wall, and then the guy at the bottom of the wall, the ground guy, he walks over to this lateral bracing on this wall, and it's not even screwed to the ground. I just climbed this wall, and there's like a lateral bracing 20 feet down there. That's what's supporting me up on this wall.
Nice.
And so I immediately had to climb back down the wall, and then we screwed in this lateral bracing to the concrete, and then I was able to go back over the top of the wall and finish building this portion of this concrete form. But just a huge disconnect between the, why am I getting laid off? They won't tell you why you're getting laid off. They don't want to tell you why you're getting laid off. They're always going to tell you it's going to be 1 or 2 weeks. But realistically, you have to be looking for a different job the second you get laid off.
If you want to continue working.
Yeah, no, and I had a higher paying job. I was working out of Micron. They had prevailing wage or whatever, where it's $10 an hour over regular scale. And then, I got a concussion. I hit my head really hard. So if I wanted to keep making this $10 an hour over scale, I had to show up to work with this concussion, or else they're going to lay me off. I was going to have to find a different job. I probably wouldn't have been able to make this money anymore. And so I'm showing up to work with a concussion. I'm just concussed.
You get concussed at work, or you get concussed right?
I got concussed at a metal concert at the Shredder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 5 Piece was playing there. That was probably my favorite band. That was showing. They were pretty good. But yeah, I got karate kicked in the side of the face. Got a decent black eye. Crawled out of the mosh pit and was like, fuck. A few too many beers, and then I ended up taking like a week off of work. And then I just went back to work, kept working. I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain I did some damage. It took me way too long to recover from that thing. Probably 3 full months before I was feeling fine again.
Yeah. So would you go back to working for a union again, or you kind of stay out of that?
I'm more interested in, I want to own my own shit.
Okay.
I feel like there's value in having the responsibility of owning your own shit. When you're working for the union, you're always just a laborer.
Yeah.
And so if I stuck with the union, I'm just going to be a laborer forever.
They're just going to tell you to shut your mouth and collect your paycheck.
Shut your mouth, keep working, collect your paycheck. And I want to eventually be able to work the way to, owning my own business. And then maybe 5-6 years down the road, I have a couple of employees. And now I don't even have to work. I just have to keep my guys employed and my guys working. And that's my job. Because I don't want to be a laborer my whole life. It's hard on your body.
Yeah.
I do work with some older guys that have been, installing floors for 20 years, and their backs, their knees,
they're shot, right?
They're shot.
And most of them are probably still in some form of addiction, doing that job at that age, I would assume.
Oh yeah, no, I work with some people that I know they're using, and it's kind of annoying when you have to work out with somebody that's methed out, because now they're like, running around. They're just being really weird and really uncomfortable. They're chattering their teeth, and I don't want to just.
They're moving 100 miles an hour without getting shit done. Yeah.
Yeah, they're moving 100 miles an hour without getting shit done.
Yeah.
They'll start 50 different things and then not finish any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of it. That's just working in the trades.
Yeah.
There's, like installing floors is a low barrier to entry job, but it pays pretty well, and so I can see how people get stuck in it.
Mm-hmm. Well, what would it take? Because you have complaints with the guy that you're working for right now. What would it take for you to friggin' find out his client list and start going out and getting it done?
Well, that's my plan next year, is to start trying to find my own work, specifically doing floors, because I think, from a business point of view, doing something like finish carpentry and framing, you have to find skilled labor. That's really, I feel like it can be difficult to find skilled labor, at least right now. But with floors, it takes maybe a month to get somebody fully up to speed on what it takes to install the floor. It's really not that complicated.
Yeah.
Hanging doors, way more complicated than laying a floor. And so from a business point of view, I'm interested in starting a flooring company. So if I actually am hiring people, I can teach them how to do it. But really what it takes for me to leave this company is learning how to find work for myself and keep myself fully employed. And I think there's going to be a certain period of time where I'm struggling to keep myself employed. And so I just want to have a savings set where, like, okay, I got $10,000. I'm just going to send it freestyle for 6 months, see if I can keep myself afloat. And so that's kind of my plan this summer. The way my boss manages contracts and jobs is, instead of him actively calling people, he waits for jobs to come in. And he has some big clients, Brighton Homes, Shadow Mountain Homes. He's working on getting a new client for this apartment complex. And so he doesn't really want to be signing on to too many people right now, because then in 2 months, he's going to be overwhelmed with work. He's not going to be able to get stuff done. And so he's just waiting for stuff to come in. So in 2 months, I'm going to be working 40 plus hours a week. I'm going to be making bank all summer long. I'm going to be making so much money. And so I'm going to ride that all summer. And then next winter, I know work's going to slow down again, because there's just less stuff going on in the winter with construction. So work slows down. My boss just lets that hit everyone in the face, so no one's working. It gets a lot of people to want to leave. But that slowdown in work is probably going to be my transition point into finding work for myself.
How do you plan on doing that? Like, how do you plan on to advertise and market yourself into doing that?
I've looked at some advertising companies, like Angie's List and Thumbtack. I don't know if I want to go that direction, because then I'm paying somebody to look for work for me. I think obviously doing some small jobs for friends and family, just so I get an understanding of managing a job. But going directly to just showing up at all, like, Corey Barton Home, just go to a Corey Barton Home, start cold calling construction contractors, construction managers. Somebody is going to be at the point where, like, I just fired my flooring guy because of low quality work, and I will have called him a day after he did that, and now he's looking for a flooring guy. And so then, okay, I'm just going to take that over. If I got to hire a guy to do that, I got to hire a guy to help me fill that in. But
how are you with that, though? I mean, because that, for me, promoting myself and cold calling people is,
you get rejected 99% of the time.
And it just wears on you, eats you up. Right?
Yeah, no, it's draining. Yeah. That's where, like, Angie's List comes in, where I can actually, I'll pay. I was talking with a sales rep for Angie's List. He was saying $80 a lead, or I could pay a monthly subscription where they'll just send in leads as they come, and I can ask specifics for what I want, or I have a pretty wide knowledge of construction. I can do a lot of different things. I can say that I can do this, that, and the other, and then they'll be able to send me in more leads, because I can do anything from tile to finished carpentry, floors, framing. I can make a deck for somebody, so they can send me they can give me leads for any number of those things. But then I'm also paying upwards of $1,000 a month just to find leads. Where if I can just find jobs for myself, I think that'd be cheaper. If I need work, Angie's List and Thumbtack would be useful, but and those are just one-off jobs too. If I could get a contract with a home builder where they're building 200 homes this year, and I'm doing the floors in 25 of them this year, then every other week I have a solid job. And I can fill in other jobs around that, but I at least know that I have a job every other week. So I'll see what happens. If I could find a contract where I am doing a house every other week or every week, just installing the floor in a house every other week, I think that'd be the easiest way to keep myself busy and to keep myself making money. But there's a lot I don't know. Everyone that's has successfully done it has just told me to send it. Don't be afraid. You'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's like half of what I do. I just freaking do shit, and it works out. Like,
nothing is truly that complicated. It's maybe you're not going to be having the most perfectly efficient method for doing it, but
the more times you do it,
the better you'll get at it. Yeah. So, the business side of construction is what I don't know. I know it's not that complicated. If I'm just managing myself, I'm pretty sure I could subsist. But there is the dream in the back of my head where, okay, I do hire 3 or 4 guys, and then I take on another contract, hire 3 or 4 more guys. 2-3 years down the road, now I got 15 people working for me. Sell the company for $2 million. Millionaire. That'd be epic, right?
It's just that easy.
It's just that easy, right?
Yeah.
No, it's working for somebody else is different. At 40 hours a week, you get to go home and relax. But if you're owning your own company, there's periods of time where it's 60 hours a week for 2 months straight. And there's periods of time where you're not working for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Where you're looking for work. And I think there's a certain amount of stress to that, but there's a certain amount of freedom you have.
No, I absolutely with that.
Yeah.
My friend Ricky put it so eloquently, and I never thought about this before, that like when it's slow, like I was telling you, like the last couple of weeks, I brought in $140 for 2 weeks. The weather was shit. It snowed. It was just, like I said, this is not the area I can make a living doing this. I can keep the shop afloat being out here, but I can't make a living. That when you're sitting in your shop waiting for someone to come in or waiting for that phone to ring, you're surrounded by every decision you made.
Yeah.
Like it was my decision to bring in that scooter that's sitting there. It's my decision to have that frame sitting on the wall horizontal to the head. It's my decision to have those freaking pedals sitting there. It's my decision to have those cranks in that case right there. And it's not going anywhere. Like, what the fuck did I do? Did I make the right fucking decision?
Yeah.
And so I'm constantly during those slow times going, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah. No, it's because you have the time to think about it.
Yeah.
When you're running and gunning, you don't really have time to question a lot of your
But like you're saying, you're going to be dealing with the same thing when at those slow times, sitting in your work van, not having a job to do, not having a job to go to, and you're getting a coffee somewhere, and you're like, I have no place to drive this truck.
Yeah.
Like, shit.
I so since I haven't really been working that much recently, I try to take this downtime and spend it learning new things. So I just been watching a lot of videos on. There's so many podcasts out there. There's so many videos about how to start small construction companies, how to scale construction companies. There's entire getaways where it's like a 3-day weekend where they just talk about construction and they live stream the whole thing. So there's opportunity to learn when you have downtime. That just creates an opportunity for you to learn stuff. And so I'm trying to do that. I've been practicing drawing a bunch because even further down the road, if I get to design my own houses, that'd be a dream come true. And so you got to be really good at drawing if you want to be drawing houses. So
yeah,
I've been spending a ton of time just drawing, studying construction, architecture, and I guess that's what you do with your downtime is you learn new things. You annotate your previous decisions.
Yeah.
Well,
I've been working on the back end on the website and shit like that. But,
yeah.
I mean, still, yes, there's plenty of stuff to do, but sometimes it just is overwhelming.
Yeah.
But
because
I know
having money flows in reduces stress.
It does. Absolutely.
It gives a certain amount of comfort knowing that you got money coming in.
And I know this is temporary. I know this slow time right now is only temporary.
Yeah. It doesn't feel that way.
It doesn't. When you're sitting in the middle of it, it absolutely doesn't. But I felt that way in Portland too.
Yeah.
Like there were times where not a customer came in. And then by the time I left, because like I was guaranteed at least 3 customers a day. Like what all my analytics told me, at least 3 customers a day on the low end. And then on the high end, when it was freaking really sunny and really popping on the weekend, man, it was busy. Like I needed the guys that were there to be there to help me out.
Yeah, it's even harder when you have guys because now it's that's just more expensive. Like payroll, you got that's money you lose every month, and if you don't have anything coming in, now you're just draining yourself.
Yeah. No, I was, and my wife, because I was just trying to do it for myself, and it was really starting to get busy. My wife was like, "You got to hire somebody. You got to bring somebody in." It's like, I don't know if I can afford them. Like, I don't, like, I'm just on this cusp. Like, I don't know if I can do it. And she convinced me to, and so ended up, long story short, bringing in Ben, and he made any short money that I couldn't come up with while he was there. So he paid for himself for being there, and he was amazing guy to work with. And then we brought on this young kid, Harley. Kid was great. Kid's a freaking awesome kid. Driving his little Nissan mini truck. I mean, he came in at like the age of 16, 17 years old. Basically, like if I work for the shop, like, do I get a discount on parts? So like anything I paid him, he just came right back to the shop to fill up a bike, which was cool. And then like it was awesome to have him around. Like I was able to lean on him a handful of times when I had to go do some other stuff. So like it worked out. Like at the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to say is it worked out. It was scary as shit. Like I was worried. Like how am I going to keep enough hours for these guys? How am I going to keep enough business coming in that I'm going to pay these guys? Because that's my biggest fear is like, I can't pay you. Like, no, and that didn't happen. Yeah, so I was really excited about that, and the business was growing constantly.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. Yeah, that's fulfilling. When I feel like when stuff's going right, when you're actually building something that's working, that's got to be great to look back and be like, dang.
And so that's the thing I realized. That's why I've got to get out to Boise. I got to get out to roads.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully you can. Hopefully you can find something in a good location that, if you're down there, people are just gonna be walking in. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be sick. I'd love to see that. Yeah.
Like before my wife left, she was like really seriously like, "Oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea."
You think you'd be getting enough customer people rolling in to pay rent?
Maybe not at first, because I figured I probably need about 3 months in the bank to cover expenses for 3 months. So if not a single customer came in for 3 months, I could still keep the doors open.
Okay.
But I doubt that's going to happen. I'm willing to bet.
Oh, I bet the second you open it, the first month will probably be better than the second one.
Yes.
Yeah. Because people will be excited. Oh, a new shop opened up? I haven't been there.
Yeah.
They'll go there and be like, oh, I actually needed new grips for, you know. Yeah. That would be nice. Yeah, because out like I said, out here, no one wants to drive all the way out here, and it is kind of weird. It's tucked behind your house.
It is, yeah.
So I think that kind of the curb appeal is a little less because of that. I think it's kind of a confusing location.
It is,
but for people that know what it is back here, it's awesome. It's private.
Yeah,
it's open. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that's cool, the shop I'm looking at right next door is a tattoo shop.
Yeah.
So it's cool vibes there.
Yeah. That is nice. It'll get people coming back and forth from the tattoo shop.
Probably not.
No. The real thing is, does the the tattoo shop sell coffee or anything?
All right. It looks like just a old fashioned tattoo shop.
If you get a little espresso machine in there, now you got people coming in for the espresso, and then there's bikes too.
I don't want to make fucking coffee while I'm trying to sell bikes.
No, that's not your thing.
No, I could probably sublet a section of it and let somebody else sell coffee.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, maybe.
I want to sell coffee, but it doesn't pay well.
Huh?
Baristas don't make any money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been a barista.
It's based on minimum wage plus tip. That's what baristas make.
Gotcha.
Yep. Construction pays a lot better.
Yeah.
Being a carpenter pays a lot better.
Are you a barista or something?
No, I just like coffee.
Oh.
I love making coffee.
You just talk to the baristas?
My brother was a barista. My friend Trent was a barista at Dutch Bros.
Oh, gotcha.
So I've known some people that's what they did. But that's when you're in high school, that's fine. You can be doing that. But
no, when you got rent to pay and bills to pay.
Yeah, when you actually have bills to pay, and you actually have to make money. You can't be making minimum wage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
no, I mean there's entry level jobs for a reason, right?
Yeah. And what are they going to do? Charge $15 for a cup of coffee?
Yeah, people would.
No, it's not. It's not gonna end well.
No.
Yeah, I think if you owned it, you'd have days where you make thousands of dollars, but then you also have days where you don't make anything.
And then spending money on the merchandise that comes in.
Yeah.
Like, if you had like a single small shop in the right area and you had constant street traffic and street flow coming in, and you could yourself and a couple other baristas, you could probably make a really good living at it. Anything more than that, you're going to need to upscale, like Starbucks, Dutch Bros, something like that. Otherwise, I don't think there's really much money involved in that.
I mean, years ago, this is actually the moment I fell in love with coffee, by the way. It was in Maine, a beach in Maine. This dude was just pushing a little cart down the beach, but he was selling shots of espresso off of this little push cart. For like something like that, you could bring it to jams, you could bring it to, there's a baseball tournament or whatever. Now you just got a little push cart with your little espresso maker. You can make people coffee out of because it really doesn't take a lot. You don't need a big setup to make coffee.
No.
You just need some milk and some coffee beans and some water. So you just had it on this little push cart. I'm like, oh, really? That's awesome. He had a little generator next to it, so he had electricity, and he was selling cups of coffee to people on the beach. And I got some double shot espresso with a little bit of cream, and oh my goodness, I went from like, oh, coffee's disgusting to I can't have enough of this now.
You know who makes a good coffee out here is Flying M.
Flying M?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have a gift card to Flying M. I got it for Christmas. I think my aunt gave me a $15 gift card.
I should go take that gift card in.
Yeah, I should. Normally, I just let gift cards rot in my closet. Not a good habit.
No.
I
just go to Flying M.
Yeah, I just go to Flying M, get some beans, get some coffee. I need new beans right now.
There's one out here in downtown.
Is there? No. I don't know.
You don't have a card with you, do you?
No, I don't have the card. It's in my closet. But I do have a debit card.
There you go.
And I do need coffee beans. I am completely out of coffee beans right now. Nope. And I need coffee beans. So
there you go.
If I want coffee tomorrow morning, I need to get beans.
I would strongly suggest Flying In.
Yeah. Honestly, making your own espresso is the cheapest thing ever. I'll spend $15 on beans. That'll last me all month. $15 a month for coffee. That's 30 plus cups of coffee right there.
The wife wants to get a fancy maker. I just use drip coffee.
Yeah, no, I go back and forth. I'll go a month where I'm using my espresso machine, month where I'm doing drip coffee.
I mean, if I had an espresso machine, I'd definitely probably use it. But
yeah, no, mine. It's really difficult to get set up because you got to know how fine to grind the beans. You got to know. There's just a bunch of nuanced little things. How long you're supposed to extract the coffee. You extract it too little, it's sour. You extract it too much, it's bitter. And then you can modulate the pressure on some of them to see it'll push more pressure through or it'll push less pressure through the puck of coffee. Once you get it all set up and dialed, you just grind the same amount of beans every time, tamp it and put it in there, and it just makes a perfect cup of coffee instantly. But getting it set up is really hard. And then different type of beans grind differently, and that changes the entire process. If you get a light roast or if you get a dark roast, or for whatever reason, every now and then I'll find a mixed roast where it'll be light and dark, but 50-50. Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, it's good. I like light roasts more than dark roasts. People love it's got to be really dark. There's something manly about dark coffee. No, I just have a nice, enjoyable cup of coffee, dude.
Isn't a lighter roast coffee have higher caffeine content?
Yeah, it's higher caffeine. Yeah. I think that it's kind of counterintuitive. Oh, you want darker, stronger coffee because there's more caffeine in it. No, the lighter.
Yeah, you just get a stronger flavor.
Yeah. Obviously, the strength of the flavor doesn't really correlate to the amount of caffeine that's in it. No. I like the Miranda roast from Starbucks. If I'm buying drip coffee beans, that's what I get. It reminds me of coffee from diners for some reason. Like if you go to IHOP, or it's like I don't put quite enough beans in the drip, so it's a little bit watered down. But I like it that way for some reason. It just reminds me of diner coffee because all diner coffee is a little bit watered down.
Yeah.
And old. And then I'll just drink 3 cups of coffee in the morning. If it was darker, I couldn't drink 3 cups of coffee. That too.
Well, I don't know how much was left in that pot that you grabbed when you were here. That was I make a full pot every morning, and that's what was left over after I drank it.
Yeah, it was half of it. You drink half of it, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a little less than half. I actually didn't even pay attention. I just filled up my cup and I needed some coffee.
All right.
Late night last night. Ammon got married. My roommate.
Nice.
So that was fun.
You moved out now?
I mean, he has an apartment. Maybe he'll stay one night at our house. His bed's still in his bedroom. But actually, funny story. So I was the guy that was going to pick up all the food for all 80 people that are going to be at his wedding. Both sides, big families.
Okay.
And I was supposed to get there at 4:30, and the food was supposed to be ready. I should just pick it up and head straight to the venue. I got there. They didn't start making the food until I got there at 4:30. And so it wasn't like 5:45 until I got out of there.
Damn.
And there was 80 packaged meals from this Middle Eastern restaurant, Rizzo's restaurant. That's the name of it.
Okay.
Place is actually super good. It's delicious.
All right.
But fancy Middle Eastern. I was listening to the Middle Eastern, fancy singing, watching Middle Eastern music videos for like an hour.
Wow.
Going crazy. Then I get to the wedding and they're blasting more Middle Eastern music and just making me more crazy. Not dissing on anything Middle Eastern, but the music kind of gives me headaches.
Oh, I don't listen to it, so I couldn't tell you.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the closest thing I ever deal with is watching Bollywood movies.
Yeah, it's probably. I'm guessing it's similar to the music in the Bollywood movies.
Yeah.
Where I feel like it's really over the top. That's probably just because I don't understand it.
Gotcha.
It's really over the top.
You ever watch those movies?
I've seen clips.
Clips?
That's about it.
There's a few of them on Netflix. Some of them are pretty fun to watch. Definitely, yeah. So definitely suggest if you come across one, like hit play and see what happens.
Okay.
RRR is one of them.
RRR?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. It was good.
Was it dubbed in English?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Netflix does a pretty good job on doing their dubs and stuff.
Yeah. No, I like watching foreign films. They function differently than American films.
Yeah.
It's like something about having a different language just portrays a different culture. It's just different culture. It's a different culture. Their social norms are just different. So it's interesting to see people function slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched a lot of Russian movies. My dad's big into Russian stuff for whatever reason, so I've seen a lot of Russian foreign films.
Okay. There's a recent one I watched. It was about the scientists. Like there's a hole in the ground, and there was like a disease in there. I had it on. I was just doing other things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my experience with Russian movies.
That's your experience. If you want a really good one, come and see. It's a Russian film about World War II. What the Germans did to the Soviet Union was horrible what they did there. And Come and See is all about this kid that was lucky enough to survive what basically what the Germans would do is they'd go from one town, they'd tell everybody, we're going to have a big meeting to let y'all know what's happening right now. So they get the entire town into the barn. They lock the doors, burn the barn down, kill everybody.
Yeah.
They just go from town to town killing everybody. That's what they did in the Soviet Union. And I don't know why we weren't taught that. Maybe something to do with the Cold War. We shouldn't feel pity for our enemies,
Yeah.
But, World War II, what happened to the Russians was, I'd say, almost equally as bad as to what happened with the Jews.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Germany after World War I and the lead up to World War II, definitely unchecked anger and unchecked emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they swung so far one way, it was they couldn't come back.
No, yeah, it's I couldn't imagine the. I mean, I'd like to think that I could never be a German general, doing these horribly unethical things. But, am I really that socially aware and that socially capable that if everybody around me was pushing me in this direction, and
I don't think all his generals, all those people were pro that way.
I think there's a certain they understood that they had to brainwash these people to run these concentration camps.
Yeah.
And so I don't know exactly how they did that. I know there's a whole.
Well, it's also a level of fear, right? So if you are a group and you're like, well, this is the enemy, and you get a part of your group to band with you, and then you see someone speak out against what your group is doing, then you must be the enemy also.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, well, I don't want to be treated like that, so I'm going to treat them like that.
Yeah. So it's just not a good situation.
No,
I'm so grateful I've never been in that situation. Hopefully I'll never.
I mean, it's really just another early form of cancel culture, right? Like, it's the same kind of mindset of that. Like,
if you speak out, you're going to get shot with everybody else.
You don't agree with what I'm saying, then you must be an enemy of mine as well. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to treat you as such.
Yeah.
And so that scared people, and they're like, well, I'm not going to speak out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
no, if you can't, I don't believe can't have an honest dialogue.
Yeah. So I don't believe all of Germany in World War II and the lead up to that believed what Adolf Hitler was saying and doing was right. They were just scared of losing their own lives because they saw the power of what that regime could do.
Yeah. I think there's a certain amount where you believe everybody else thinks this way, and you can't speak up because if you speak up, you're
going to have a target on your back.
Yeah, you're going to have a target on your back.
Somebody's going to turn you in.
But you're fully convinced that everybody else fully thinks that way because no one speaks up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And if we lose a level of dialogue and the freedom of speech, right?
Yeah. No, if you get punished for speaking up about whatever, that doesn't matter if you're wrong or right.
Yeah.
You shouldn't get punished for saying something. That's written in our Constitution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as Americans, we understand that. Like, okay, I might not like what that group, what that person is saying or the way they're saying it, but they have a right to say that because the opposite side of that coin is we can harm that person for not agreeing with what this group is saying and acting at.
Yeah, and the freedom the media has to punish people is.
Well, I think all that is. I think as media goes, I think all that is collapsing. I think.
Yeah, I think people are losing trust in.
Well, yeah, with mainstream media. I mean, you mentioned podcasts. I mean, everyone is putting out a podcast, and some of them are more educated than not. But then there's also so many subjects that these podcasts are putting out. I mean, look what we're doing now. We're just sitting there chatting.
None of us are 100% saying that we're correct about anything. We're just trying to learn, become better people and grow.
Yeah.
And that's that. People seeing that, people understanding that what I say is not 100%. You can't hold anything I say 100% against me. I think there's a certain amount of value to that. Because I'll contradict myself. I'll say something stupid. Sometimes I don't even know I said something stupid till it's too late.
Yeah.
But if I'm trying to learn to get better, I kind of sometimes have to say something stupid, and then get the shit kicked out of me because of it to learn that okay, maybe this needs more thought. Yeah. So. Yeah.
I'm just thinking.
No, I remember. So when I was going to BSU for a year, there's this. I don't even remember exactly. It was some sort of. This dude was pro. He was a Christian dude trying to convert these satanic college kids into being Christian, because we're doing all sorts of horrible things. We're having premarital sex and doing drugs. And we're all going to go to hell.
You're sinners.
We're sinners. We're going to go to hell. And I came up to this dude and I was like, so all of us are against you right now. How does that make you feel? And he said immediately, and I completely lost this. He said, I think as an individual, not as a whole. Or basically, my argument was that all of us disagree with you, and that makes you wrong.
Yeah.
And he just like completely dominated me in front of that. And I did a 360 on my BMX left and contemplated life. But it takes an individual to speak up to make change.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though everybody around him was
bashing him,
and wearing hot dog costumes and breakdancing, but that doesn't mean he's right or wrong.
Yeah,
that just means that more people disagree with him.
Mm-hmm. And you're not going to change somebody's mind also by sitting and yelling at them that they are wrong. There's a tact that you should use in conversation that is open and willing to say, this is what I believe, but like I will hear you as well and try to find a level of common ground.
Yeah. And in the scenario like what I was just saying, it's really hard to find common ground when there's an audience of 50 people egging one side on or egging the other side on. It just doesn't flow naturally. It's I have my point of view and I have to stick to my point of view. I'm not here to learn. I'm here to prove you wrong. And when you have an audience, you have people agreeing with you that you're here to prove him wrong.
Yeah. And dealing with a group of people,
that's a different, and that's why podcasts are so great, just because we can actually communicate on a level where I can actually accept that I'm wrong about something. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you accept that you're wrong about something in front of an audience,
they're going to turn on you.
No, your audience loses trust in everything you say.
Oh, if the audience was backing you.
I
see what you're saying.
If I come back on something I said and say, okay, never mind, I was actually wrong on this, I feel that the audience loses trust in what you're saying.
Some of them will, but those people are also wishy-washy and don't have a strong.
I think an audience,
or they have too strong of an opinion about something, and they're not being able to see what's wrong with their thought.
Yeah. Maybe they're not even fully focusing on what is being said. They just want to hear somebody lose the argument or win the argument,
Yeah.
It's not that simple if you're actually trying to find common ground.
Yeah. Who gives a shit if
99% of the time, you're not right, I'm not right. It's middle ground that's right.
Yeah.
And so it maybe there is the rare occasion where you are 100% right and I'm 100% wrong, but I think there's always a certain amount of middle ground that.
You ever heard the term an empty victory?
Empty victory?
Yeah.
No. What do you? Maybe.
So I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you can figure it out. But having an argument with somebody where they just believe that they're right, because they get so locked into most of the time an emotional state in surrounding their beliefs and the argument. To where you just go, fine, you win the argument because I don't care that much that I'm not here trying to win an argument.
No, they won the argument because they didn't want to listen and because they raised their voice.
Yeah, so
you didn't want to deal with
that.
So
you just tell them, okay, you win. You're the winner. No, but then the next question is like how do you feel for winning? It's usually just empty, like, well, I don't feel any different. Yeah. I don't feel any better because you told me I won.
No, that's completely not productive. Mm-hmm. And I think whenever I start talking about something political with somebody that maybe gets a little bit emotional, I lose the argument because I'm not willing to get emotional too. Mm-hmm. But if you want to really try and be productive, you have to like raise your energy to their energy and be like, dude, or, something I've kind of found that works is when somebody starts getting emotional about something political, I start talking about how emotions are way too high in politics and that leads for not honest communication, poor communication. And that'll quiet people down most of the time if I let them know that I can't talk to you because you're not letting me.
Yeah.
Because every time I try and say something, you cut me off and give a counter argument before I even finish speaking. Mm-hmm. And when you're doing that, you can't win the argument.
No,
it's they have because they're not listening to you. They're just 100% think that they're right.
Yeah.
Empty winners.
Yeah, so I just go, I mean, sure, like you won, you're the winner. Congratulations.
Yeah, you raised your voice. Orange tape is superior to to green tape, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, and the conversation.
Good for you, bro. You won.
And then they're just like, well, I don't feel like I won because they really didn't. Nothing productive came from an argument of that nature.
Yeah, and that's something that's a big issue that is very commonplace. Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to call this one.
Yeah.
For sure. I think we had a good talk.
Yeah, it was a good conversation. How long have we been going for?
Probably a good solid hour and a half now. This was a pretty good one. Hopefully we can get a guest to be out here next Sunday.
Yep. Yeah. Lost ground. I want to get one with Luke and Rob. I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Magneto BMX and our history with Magneto BMX.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, hopefully we can get both of them out here.
I mean, I think Luke and Rob have a great a view of the world too, as well.
They have a great view of the world. I think all three of us have a really good dialogue, back and forth.
Yeah.
That would be. We'll see what happens.
Cool. Well, they both work on Sundays, right?
They work Saturdays. They shouldn't be working Sundays. They might if they need to, but
all right.
They haven't been.
Well, let's say goodbye to everyone.
Have a good weekend, brothers.